Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm talking about Maqasid al Shariah. It means the objective of Sharia in Islamic economics. It is first and foremost thing to understand what the instruction or direction the Sharia gives when we talk of Islamic economics. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر. So this is a short ayah of Surah Al Imran 104, and the same is repeated in the ayah number 110 of the Surah Al Imran. So basically Sharia is all about giving the human life based on marufat. This means good things. Promotion of the good thing is core to the Sharia, but this is not enough. At the same time, Sharia gives you responsibility to stop or cleanse this word of munkarat, the evil or haram. So these are the two basic principles of the Sharia, and any activity before we invest or do or act upon must be defined into these two categories. If it is good for the society, such actions must be promoted. Anything which promotes the goodness in the society should be invested. So this is the first thing. Every investment or every project or anything which can be said or fulfills the needs of the people must be a good activity. The second thing, any activity which does not fulfill into this category for whatever reason must not be supported or invested into. So rather than talking long list of the good activities, I will talk only about the short list of the evil activities or which are prohibited activities where we should not invest. The first and foremost thing is interest driven businesses. No one should put their money into the interest earning businesses, FDs, banks, or the interest driven any company who earns their basic income source is interest. Casinos, alcohol, arms, any activity which is considered as not good or haram must be stopped. Any activity which is defined as not so good or evil must not be promoted. This is the first and foremost thing of the principle of Maqasid al Shariah. Basically, Maqasid al Shariah gives you a society, a good society, a welfare society, a society which cares for each other, and a society which does not exploit to anybody. So this is very simple basic definition of Maqasid al Shariah, and based on only this we have to define what we can do and what we cannot do. Marufat can be defined as mandatory, obligatory, further than wajib, the recommended, mandub, and permissible, mubah, or so these are the activities which is defined into these categories are which we must promote. And those which are not defined into this category should be avoided. So basically, munkarat are all haram activities. Everything which has a very short list, but very important to the welfare of the society. So casinos cannot add value to the society. Lottery cannot add the value to the society. Trading based on the what we call it fictitious or like casinos cannot add it. The latest thing is derivatives, currency futures, options, cryptocurrencies. All this cannot be advised. Day trading, all this cannot be halal investment and must be stopped, not allowed at all. So this is very important to understand what is marufat and what is munkar. Any hotel which serves the liquor, alcohol, you cannot invest into any such transaction. So remember, it is very important. We need to see where the money is really going and from where you are earning your source of income. All those things must be clearly defined and understood. So we have marufat, we have munkar, and this is how the Islamic society is driven. So basically, Islam promotes the welfare in the society. Islam tried to help and support everybody by different means. A man came to Prophet ﷺ and asked for his help or his generosity. He was saying he is not having any job or any work. This hadith is sahih and quoted very clearly into number of narrations. So Prophet ﷺ helped him, asked him what you have in the home, and he got a one copper mug. The Prophet ﷺ asked the other Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala to who want to buy it, and from that money Prophet ﷺ asked him to buy a saw, and he put by his own hands a wood to it so that he can use. He started cutting the wood and selling it, and he started his earning. So this is the narrations which we must follow. The halal way of earning is very important to happy and healthy family. Halal earning provides you healthy and happy living. But we need to understand there are the destitutes, there are the poor, there are the widows who just cannot help themselves, and this is a responsibility of state to support all such pupils. So we must define the priorities. So basically, food is a responsibility of the state. Every person living in the society must get food, and it is a responsibility of the state to provide food to everybody, whoever he may be. So this is the basic concept of welfare into the Islam. Now, when we want to talk about the poverty, we cannot remove the poverty without supporting the poor. Poor needs to be supported to remove the poverty. And Islam has very clearly defined what are the sources of funds for the poor. And the first and foremost source, and which is obligatory, is zakat. Those who are supposed to pay zakat, or those who has the enough wealth to pay zakat, must pay zakat, and they must pay it to the defined 6 categories, which includes the poor, the destitutes, the travelers, those who are acting for management of the zakat, those who are for in the custody or who are slaves or in the jails, and those who are helping or promoting the religion. So all these peoples are supposed to get from the funds of zakat. But most important, foremost is a poor, hungry, needy, and destitutes which are close to you has the first right on your zakat and must be given to them so that we can remove the poverty, we can reduce the poverty in the society, and people and everyone in the society can live with a dignity. Now we have other sources, awqaf or charitable trust endowments. People should create the endowments which can serve a healthcare system, education system free of cost, so that those who cannot afford or at affordable prices, everybody can get a good healthcare and good healthcare and good education. And this is the second most important part, and also the responsibility of state to provide the education. But at the same time, people can create their own charities, charitable trust or endowments, awqaf, and can provide these facilities. And this is a sadqa jariya, or this is a permanent good deed, hasnat, which such people can get through these actions. So we must promote for the people to do this. Gifts and from the spoils of war, alfay. So all these are the income which we can consider as for removing the or reducing the poverty. Presently, we cannot talk much about the alfay, but it is bounty of the war, or the al or ganima is also a bounty of war. So, but that does not exist much into today's environment. But these are for the poor. Any buried treasure which is found, or anything which is sourced from the ground or given by the, means these are not owned but given by the Allah's bounty, minerals or any such assets which comes from the soil by the grace of Allah, all such 20% of all such incomes must be given to the 20% of such income must be given to the poor. This is very very important, which most of the countries and the people has forgotten. Rikas is buried wealth, and everything must pay zakat on it. The, also Allah has given the permanent maintenance for their relatives, the orphans or the old parents. It is obligatory for their kids to maintain them, to feed them, and take their proper care. If they are not doing this, the state can take action against all such pupils. And the government must also help and support for each person living in the state with a minimum standard of living by giving a good quality of food and other necessities required to live a life with dignity. So this is basically the way Islam defines the welfare. It is very important to understand the basic concept of welfare. Today, most of the pupils are suffering because either there is a too much exploitation or state is not taking care of them. Unnecessarily money is spent, or the very few hands has the money. Today, top two people owns more of America owns more than 40% wealth of the bottom of the Americans. India's 65 people owns more than half of the wealth of all Indians together. This is sheer exploitation by the few. Islam does not encourage the exploitation of the common people in this way. And this is the problem of the system. The present system does not address the welfare of the poor people. The system is basically creating the few rich and millions of poor. And this is the reason we see in the pandemic the rich has got richer by 2 to 3 times, 200 to 300%, but poor and hungry are double to triple in numbers. So this system needs to be addressed. This problem of the society needs to be addressed and resolved. Unless and until a society based on the welfare is developed and created, we will face the similar problem. Thank you very much.